Hello guys, this is Leo from Quotes and Posters, and today I'm going to talk about the quote, "We're all in the same boat." So, we're all in the same boat, and the road is one. We live in the same world, although it doesn't look like. It looks like we live in completely different worlds. It's all one, and nature and the universe is also one. And this concept that we are on the same boat actually shows that we as humans, although we try to manipulate ourselves, and we try to manipulate situations where we want to be individuals, we in the end we just can't. We live in a society, and every little thing is interconnected with each other, even though we don't want to be, because we want to protect our individuality, right? And so there's a big paradox in life. Life has many big paradoxes, and this is one of them. That although we want to have our own identity, we want to live in our country and create our culture, and we want to distance ourselves from other countries and other cultures and other religions, whatever if action we are doing here, it will influence the other community, because especially now with how industrialization and society is, the world is becoming even more globalized. There are no boundaries anymore. It's so easy now to travel to other countries, and you can notice that each city nowadays has a little bit of each culture embedded in the city, and you can see that really traditional cultures are getting lost very fast because of globalization, and it's a very sad thing that is happening. It's a very sad movement that it happens so subtle that you don't even realize. Because, for example, if I traveled to Japan or China in the 50s or in the 60s, I'm 100% confident that I would see much more traditional values there, and I would see much more of their culture there than I would see now. Because now I'm going to see a mix of things, right? And that's so, it's kind of tragic, and it's kind of sad that things happen like that, but it's kind of inevitable. At the same time, it's inevitable. And it's fascinating. It's also fascinating at the same time to actually see how things, cultures and art and movements and people and thoughts, everything get extinct, and new ideas and new cultures and new things are always on the move, always evolving, always creating. So this goes to say that it's part of evolution, and it goes to say that we are all interconnected, right? So, and paradoxically, we are not, because we have governments and we have countries and we put boundaries and we create walls, right, Donald Trump? We make walls to lock ourselves, and we protect ourselves from invaders, right? So there's a big paradox in that, right? So in life, you're gonna find out that there's so many paradoxes in life, and this is definitely one of them, right? So question is then, what to do with it? How do you deal with it, knowing that we're all one and we're all in the same boat, interconnected? And basically, if a country decides to pollute, and if a country decides to build a nuclear bomb to hit another country, that might create an effect that might damage other countries around, or even the entire world. I think we're getting into a point in human race where we are capable of creating bombs that would be able to explode the entire planet, right? And I don't know if we reached this stage yet, but if we do, I think we are in a very, in a very sad, tough, critical situation, and there's nothing you or anyone else can do, right? You kind of feel like you feel totally incapable of doing anything, because the world changes so fast and it progresses without your consent. Basically, life just goes and things change without you asking, and without people asking, and soon, if you don't act also, life will go over you, right? If you don't take any action. That's so interesting how these things work, right? These things, they work. There's like a whole system, and it's kind of a natural system that we don't want to believe that is natural. We want to believe that is fabricated. But behind this facade of a fabricated system, there lies the natural system. It lies a universal nature system of things. And the universal nature is about interconnectivity. We, as a planet, are belonging to a system, to a solar system, which are belonging to a galaxy, which are belonging to another set of galaxies, and it's incredible if you actually study astronomy and actually reflect about things, because it gives you a lot of room for self-reflection. That also imagine that inside of us there could be universes inside of us, right? And the entire concept of time is relative. So what do you do about it? If you really know about these things, and if you reflect about life and reflect about existential questions, I think my take on that at the moment is you live the best life that you can without damaging others, right? Live a life that is good for you, but that life doesn't doesn't go on top of others. And that's a very difficult concept to grasp, because if you really think about it, like the life that I'm having now, I believe that for me to have this life, someone has to have a worse life. And not only one person. It goes like this. For me to have this life now of luxury, that I'm here talking in front of a camera to millions of people, and I have the luxury to design this poster and to have this apartment where I live, and I have shelter and I have food, and I even have some spare money. For me to have this, someone has to have a smaller apartment, less food, less money. And not only one person, but 10 others. Now, for that 10 person, that 10 people to have that lifestyle, another 100 need to have a worse lifestyle, right? So it's very naive for me to say that you just have to live the best of your life without hurting others, because if you live the best of your life without hurting others, but you want to achieve a certain quality of life, you are, because we are interconnected and because we are on the same boat, you are already damaging others. You are already damaging others, because you want, in your mind, you want a specific lifestyle, and yes, you think that you can do that by achieving great work. If you do a great work, and if you create value to the world, then you're gonna have a better lifestyle. The world will reward you with a better lifestyle, with more money, and because of that, there's an imbalance. And then some people, for you to have more money, other people needs to have less money. There's no such thing as equality, right? So it's very complicated. Those are very existential questions that you have to ask yourself, and I think you must have the answers for yourself. You must have really your internal answers to these questions, because no one is gonna tell you what is right and what is wrong, but you gotta understand that things that you do in life have consequences to others, and you might want to find it possible to minimize those consequences, right? And how do you minimize those consequences? Living a basic life, I would say. Living a basic life without wanting anything material, wanting knowledge, wanting mind, wanting peace of mind. When you start wanting peace of mind, you're gonna see that you don't need much to live a good life. You're gonna see that you can achieve peace of mind with very few things, right? So I think it's really about how you set your mind to to these questions and how to actually live the best life that you can without interfering and trying to damage less or trying to make a society more equal. Because think about it, if everybody would have this mindset, I can imagine a world where you wouldn't have people dying of hunger, but the world that we have is extremely perverse, and nothing makes much sense, because how can we produce food where the entire population can eat, and how can we have people dying of hunger? That doesn't make any sense, but it just happens because of that. That's exactly what happens in the world, that we as species, we have we are selfish, we want always more. And this is the main thing, you know, that the thing that drives us to evolution is that we're never satisfied with what we have, never satisfied. We always want more, but wanting more creates these disparities in the world, and actually doesn't make us more happy. So why do we actually keep wanting more? Why do we actually keep pursuing these things? And I really don't know the answer. I really have no idea, and I challenge someone to actually find this answer. Why do we keep doing this? Why do we keep actually doing the same mistakes again? Like life goes on circles, right? And if you study the history of life, it's always been like this, and we keep evolving. Now we have like we have a different society. We have a evolved society, and I cannot even dream, and I cannot even imagine how the future would be like. Do you think maybe in the future does everybody is going to be able to eat? Does everybody is going to be able to have access to the basic necessities of the pyramid of Maslow, right? Access to good quality water, food, and knowledge. It's incredible, the life that we have now compared to the life that we used to have before, thousands of years ago. I think also, well, if the records show right the kind of life there used to be thousands of years ago, I think even though we live in a very chaotic world, in a very complex, extremely complex and chaotic world, well, probably we're gonna solve some of these issues, or probably we're gonna reach a level in society where we are able to understand that possessions and all these things are frivolous, and that these things actually damage the planet, and we can avoid those things. But we keep making babies, we keep reproducing, we keep overgrowing the population, we keep devastating the forests and the natural resources. It's incredible. I have really no idea how the world is going to progress in the following years, in the next 50 years, because it's an exponential curve, and it's really, I mean, if I just think about it, just thinking about it, make me really like I wouldn't say sad. Yeah, maybe sad is the right word, but makes me curious to know what's gonna be, really what's gonna be, because there's no such thing as eternal growth, like the way the economy today is expanding and companies and countries are getting richer, and we are producing more stuff because we are creating more things, and because we are the population keeps increasing. There's no limit. But what's gonna be, because we only have one planet? So even I think either we are able to expand to other planets, and then we just expand and populate and fuck with other planets like we're doing with our own planet, or there's going to be a big catastrophe, and there's going to be a big natural disaster, and that's going to kill a lot of people, and then we're going to have to create everything from scratch, you know, maybe this time learn something from it, because what we have now is completely unsustainable, and I challenge anyone to come with a solution to it, because as I see today, there's no real solution to the problems that we're facing, right? So here you go. Hope you like this one. We're all in the same boat, so sit back and relax. Thank you very much.